Hello, friends. You know what I love? I love Maga regret. These morons who voted for Trump, thinking Trump was going to do a better job as a president for the second time, and now all they have is regret. I love this. I've been reading more and more of these stupid Republicans who are regretting their vote and they're crying on social media. Oh, it was a big mistake. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for voting for dumb Donald Trump. You know, these idiots were warned so many times. They have been warned for so many years that dumb Donald Trump will never fulfill his promises. During the 2024 campaign, he campaigned on no new wars, and he was going to bring the price of groceries down. He's going to bring inflation down. There's going to be American jobs. There's going to be these great things. And these morons, they drank the Kool-Aid, but now it's too late to puke it out. Now it's too late to puke all that Kool-Aid out. And all they have is just shame and embarrassment. This is what all these morons are crying about on social media, and when they talk to the media, when they talk to news media, they want to be anonymous. So they will give a fake name because a lot of these people, they still don't want their friends to know that they have regret. Like a lot of these morons, they say, oh, I grew up as a Republican, my family is a Republican, all my life I've been a Republican, voting for Republican, and now I'm beginning to see that the Republicans aren't really fighting for me. And some of these morons, their family members voted for the Democrats. Their family voted for the Democrats except for them. They're the only ones in their family that voted for Trump. And now at the dinner table, they're being laughed at, they're being yelled at by their family members, telling them, why, oh, I told you he was going to do that. Oh, I told you you were wrong. I told you you should have voted for stupid Donald Trump. And these morons are crying on social media about their regret. I love it. I love it. I'm not a violent person. I'm not a violent person, but I have this thought in my mind of slapping the face of every single person who voted for dumb Donald Trump. I want to slap them in their face and have my handprint on their cheek. But I am not a violent person. I am not a violent person. But I love to see these stupid regret of these morons because that's all they have. They have their regret. They can't do anything else. Actually, they can do something else, which is not to vote for dumb Donald Trump again and not to vote for these stupid Republicans again. So that's the only thing they can do. People always say you learn from your mistakes, and I'm pretty sure these fools have learned from their mistakes. A lot of them say, "Oh, I really hope that when Donald Trump comes back to power, he's gonna help me buy a house, maybe keep more of my paycheck because half of my paycheck is going to the taxes." So a lot of these fools, they really thought Donald Trump was gonna save them money, but they're beginning to realize that Donald Trump is actually costing them more money, more money. But what I really want to talk about is stupid Hegseth, Pete Hegseth, the DUI hire who was answering questions from the lawmakers. I think he was basically having a meltdown because he had no answers for these lawmakers, these Democratic lawmakers. A lot of the stuff he said was basically crying about the previous administration, crying about Joe Biden, Joe Biden, Joe Biden, Joe Biden. Why didn't you talk to Joe Biden back then? Why didn't you bring this up when Joe Biden was president? Why this? Why didn't you do that? Why didn't you ask this? Why didn't you talk to your people about this when Joe Biden was president? So stupid Hegseth really had no answers to these questions. But one of my favorite exchange is stupid Pete Hegseth versus Mark Kelly. I think that was one of my favorite bit of video. You know, Mark Kelly he's a hero. He's a hero. He's a veteran. And he has spent 35 years of his life in the military. And he said his father was in the military, his brother or his grandfather is in the military. So he come from a family of veterans. And so to have Hegseth, who's not qualified to be the Secretary of Defense, the only thing Hegseth did was just serve in the National Guard. To have these morons who's now in charge of the Secretary of Defense to lecture him on how the military should conduct themselves, it's laughable. Mark Kelly, I think he was very proud. He was very happy to be asking questions to Hegseth, looking at him directly in the face. You know, I really thought that was a great exchange, because Mark Kelly was just asking all these questions about the military, trying to get Hegseth to engage, but Hegseth is being an idiot because he can't really do anything, because you have this man you try to take down. He's now asking you these questions that you have no answers to, and you contradict yourself. A lot of the things about stupid Hegseth is he contradicted himself so many times. This was a crazy, unhinged moment for him. I really hope that just like how Pam Bondi lost her job immediately after she testified in front of these lawmakers, I hope the same thing happens to stupid Hegseth. I really hope so. And even one of these lawmakers said, I really hope you lose your job because you are incompetent, just like your boss, but I really hope he fires you for the bullshit you did in Iran. And Hegseth looked like an idiot. You know, he's a moron. But, you know, everybody that works for Donald Trump, including stupid Donald Trump, are morons. That's who they are. But I'm really happy these MAGA morons with regret are coming out. I think we're going to have more and more of these stupid MAGA morons crying about the broken promises from the stupid Donald Trump. Thank you very much.